Hello and welcome back to our HIP New World Order series here as the Holy Roman Empire. In our last episode we declared war on Baden here to take one of the two duchies that rightfully belong as part of our empire, so let's unpause and let our sieges continue here. Our granddaughter is a charitable little rascal. She just gave her newest toy to the smith's son. I think we'll be quite happy to have her become charitable. Extra diplomacy will be just fine. And my Chancellor's mission to Austria is a success again. I think that definitely puts him well over 100 opinions, so we can easily move our Chancellor elsewhere. Our two vassal queens are totally fine. Our Duchess of Brabant is only at 66, but that's not really a big deal. Franz the Drunkard here in Utrecht is only at 44. So maybe we'll work on him next. This Countess is fairly low, as is the Duke here. They're much less powerful. So I guess we could work on Brabant or Utrecht. I think we'll just go down in order of power and work on Brabant first. Something else that I noticed after this war, we'll probably want to do something about this. We did not actually get the entire de jure kingdom of Jerusalem in the Crusade. We didn't get this duchy because presumably it wasn't held by the target of the Crusade, it's under the Seljuks. So we could take that in a holy war and give it to our daughter the queen here, which is definitely something I would like to do. How is she doing, incidentally? Oh, she actually has a child now, which is good for her. No special traits, but hopefully she raises her right. If I remember in 6 years or so, I'll try to ask her to educate her myself. Hopefully make sure she becomes a good character. But I think a nice holy war against the Seljuks will be pretty fun. And our truce with King Lothair of Flanders and Ireland is about to expire. Which is fine, we'll take some more land from them at some point as well. Maybe after the war against the Seljuks. I have a new Duke of Dauphine, who... Okay, our Duchess of Brabant has died. I guess that means we no longer need to improve her opinion. She was murdered, in fact. So this guy is in charge of Brabant now. He's only 11 though, so we don't have to worry about him. And Brittany just put down whatever revolt it was suffering, or lost to it, who knows. And our cousin Sylvia arrived back at our court, presumably after her husband died. Had no children, I guess. That's okay, she's welcome. Get extra levy reinforcements, which is nice, and the success of your mission to Jerusalem has been converted to the Catholic faith. Excellent. We can move him somewhere else now. No progress on any other conversions down here, which is a little surprising. We'll just move him next door, I suppose. I guess we do have single subholding in here. Or rather, I'm assuming it's under our daughter, the Queen. But we'll take the rest of it anyway. Meanwhile, let's see, do we have all of the counties of this duchy? Because we can't click on it here. How do we do this then? Duchy of Baden. We hold the other two counties. That's actually not the right duchy, it's Lothringen. But yes, we do hold the other two counties, so it's only these two. We don't need to prioritize sieging any other ones. Take these two, get our ticking war score, if we're not already at 100 by then. You have a small army wandering around here. Apparently he's in some other war as well. It's actually the Pope. He is defending against Venice in the conquest of Baden. Oh, okay. So I guess that would probably end our war if he loses that. I think it would probably end inconclusively, I'm not sure. And defending as an ally in this one, so that's not important. Well, we'll see what happens if he happens to lose to Venice. Oh, and it seems that Ireland is now mostly independent again. Back under an Irish king. I've taught my young granddaughter well. She's starting to act properly German. Excellent. Oh, that's great. Our daughter, of course, is still Lombard, but of course, if and when we play as her, we can convert to our local culture of our capital at the cost of some prestige. So let's see, I guess he could if he wanted to. Oh, he's maybe just in revolt against Flanders right now. Okay. Well, that's fine, we'll see. Okay, our vassal, our son in fact, the Duke here, sends word of enemy courtiers found at Nanzig. We will put them directly into the dungeons. And I did say I was probably going to do a bit of dungeon spring cleaning, actually. Let's see, King of Suomi kept at peace, I guess. Okay. And this Duke is happier. I guess there's no harm in improving his opinion, even though he's only 11. So we'll just leave our guy there. But we'll click this ransom all prisoners button one more time, and then once they go through, we'll just release all prisoners. Since I bet it's starting to smell pretty bad in these dungeons at this point. Some of these people have been here for 32 years, 57 years in his case. Okay. So even that didn't release all the prisoners, we'll just manually release these last ones, I suppose. Because we are a benevolent queen. And as a reward for our benevolence, we have a sheer revolt to deal with. Presumably down here in Jerusalem. Well, I guess we can see how many troops we can raise from the Queen here. Not really enough to be comfortable dealing with that. I guess we're going to have to transport troops over, so for now we'll just disband these. And we'll raise... Let's see, I guess it's probably going to be just as fast to raise them up here. And enough boats to carry them. Another 7,500 should be plenty. Now let's just raise however many boats we can get from the Merchant Republic here. That should be also plenty. This war we fight has already cost many lives and many more will die. Can I really say that I enjoy war? We can say yes and potentially lose the kind trait. Would give us a little more intrigue, but I don't think that's too important. But we'll say no. Okay, the Queen sends word of enemy courtiers found at Vaudemont, and we will of course put them into the dungeons, which at least are clean and partially scrubbed. We'll just ransom them though. We have to wait for the first one to come back. Fine. Went a little too far there. Let's go and land our troops over here. And let's check on the Great Holy War for Vladimir. It is 5% in favor of the High Priestess, but she is the only one actually in the war. We see how much land she has, if any. I guess none. Right, well, I think she probably has one temple holding. And her duchy level title is just titular. So I doubt Vladimir has to be too scared about that. And our Queen of Jerusalem has created the title Duchy of Jerusalem, which is the one she should have created in the first place, since that's her capital duchy. I guess if we had wanted to make sure she stayed in power and stayed powerful, we should have maybe granted her personally all the counties in that duchy. Now that I think about it, though, she did at least get the baronies in her capital county, which is, I suppose, the most important thing. And I think now that she has the duchy title, she'll be able to plot to revoke the other counties in there. Though whether the AI will actually do that or not is another matter. Our cousin Gerard has died of poor health. I'm sorry to hear it. He was celibate. Not that I'm saying that necessarily contributed or anything, but can't be healthy. We do have a tiny army from Baden here, which we're just going to ignore. Recently, I have taken my ward with me when I traveled around the country, visiting different villages, castles, and cities. I constantly explain to my ward how people trade, what sort of crops we grow in the land, and so on. It's important that she learns these things. So she's going to gain some amount of stewardship, hopefully 3, that would be great. She gained 1, that's fine too. He asks, why do people die? Deep thoughts for an 8-year-old. We can say because they are too carefree. You will most likely become patient, which would be pretty good, but possibly craven, which would be bad, or we can make her have a 50% chance of becoming brave, or say it's part of God's plan. I think we'll take the chance of making her patient, since that's probably the best outcome. And we did. Oh, she's already a pretty great character at the young age of 9. And we had another daughter born to our son-in-law and daughter, who is a strong and quick character. These people are having just the best children of all time. Pretty amazing. My mission to Lowen has so far been a success. During my visit to the court of the Duke, you have made him understand what a great person I am. Thank you. So yeah, the future of the dynasty is pretty secure with all of these amazing granddaughters that we have lined up here. And again, he's improved the opinion, so this guy's up to 100. We can definitely move our Chancellor elsewhere. I guess we'll work on Count Franz the Drunkard, who hasn't liked me really for a long time now. At least he hasn't been extremely happy. I guess that's why he drinks. The Duke sends word of enemy courtiers found at Blankenberg. We'll put them in the dungeons. Oh, and I almost forgot about our little rebel problem down here. Let's raise the Queen's troops again. We can just disband these boats, because we can just disband all the troops down here for no penalty. And we no need to transport them back. And this should be more than enough to take care of 5,000. Excuse me. Our Duke of Friesland has provided me with proof that the Burgrave of Nuremberg, who is our kinsman, incidentally, has been viciously slandering me. How rude of him. Well, I don't think he's in any factions and is pretty unlikely to join any. Actually, we do have a Lower Crown Authority faction. He's not in it, but Franz the Drunkard is. We'll just keep it to ourselves, though. He's behaving himself, at least for the moment. Could not help but overhear the stablemaster and a courtier's animated discussion, something about a horse and a payment due today, but the courtier insisted to pay the stablemaster later that week. Let's stick our nose in. I settled the matter between Etzo and my stablemaster. I tried to be as just as I could, but they still won't speak with each other. But I guess Etzo here likes me just the same, okay. So we won our first battle here. We'll pursue the army and hopefully destroy it. Check what's going on in Baden as well. So they have another little army down here, but also not a problem. And our battle is ended. We'll enforce demands. And we'll just execute this guy. No one will care. I am pleased to report the success of my mission. Okay, so we have another county converted down there. And won a siege. But we can move our chaplain, let's say, over to here. Probably doesn't really matter. Actually, we should try to convert her capital duchy first. But anyway, we can't move him right now. We can disband these troops, though. Won another siege. We're up to 62%, and this is totally sieged here, so we can move this army along. Apparently he has not yet lost his war against Venice. 73% in favor of the Doge. I hope we'll actually finish before we before they finish that other war. And so when we declaring a war, speaking of things being finished, and just the one holding to go here before we start getting our ticking war score as well, so it'll hopefully help out. I don't really want to march troops all the way down here to siege the capital, so we'll just siege the land up here. Which should do just as well. Alright, that's that done. We'll move this army along over here. I guess we are reinforcing our retinue a bit, probably due to siege events, siege attrition. And we have the Duchy of De Hubert called in. We probably don't have to worry about. Oh, word has reached me that an ambitious adventurer, Uluk, is gathering men for some sort of attack on my territory. Interesting. I guess we don't get to know exactly what land he wants, though maybe with him being Turkish, it's Jerusalem, since that's more in this area. I think of assassins. Yes, well, let's give it a try. Only 61% on the face of it here, but we'll invite people and see where we get. Like we have enough people to bribe that we can get this to 100. Alright, I think that should do it. Where is this guy, actually? down here. Okay. Well, who knows? Need to get our granddaughter here. This is the second daughter of our heir, so we'll educate her ourselves as well, since she is the backup currently. But we're gonna have to wait to finish this war against Baden and see what happens with this adventurer in the next episode, because we're out of time for now. So thanks for watching, and join me again then.